So the season's done now. We won the league. That's it, right? We won the league. Big moment for the club, for the fans. Coming into the season, I don't remember what your expectations were, but how would you evaluate Arsenal's season for you personally, and what do you think some of those big moments were?
Yeah, for me, for sure. Like at the end of the season, when I try to do my own review, I try to go based on like what were the expectations I had at the beginning of the season, and winning the league was at the top of those expectation lists, and we ticked that literally, right? So when I look back, and I can't look back and say it was. I mean, no, and not. I don't think anyone can even look back and say you had a disappointed season
No,
when you come
yeah.
out as a champion of England, right? But then again, in stepping back and looking back as well, I said, this is a team that won the league, went to the Champions League final, went to the Carabao Cup final, went to the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. Literally. We kept playing 3 games from November
Man, that
to
was tough.
literally
I
the end of
remember. Yeah.
literally to the end of the season. So when you look back at it, it's like number one thing on the list was becoming Premier League champions. Remember, we went into the season. This team went into the season with so much pressure, even with the likes of the past champion in Liverpool, who spent all that money, and a lot of people had them as the favourites to win the league. But the pressure on Arsenal was still there. You finished second 3 times in a row. There was still, you have to do it this season. Like, you have to do it this season. So when you have those expectations and those pressures and people talk about your mentality and everything, and you still come out on top, man, kudos to the boys, kudos to the manager, kudos to the club. Well deserved. They went out there, they had a mission and they executed that mission perfectly. So
In terms of if you had to give it a letter grade, right? A plus
yeah.
obviously being the best, and
I'm giving it an A plus. There's nothing below that, right? Because at the beginning of the season, like I said, if you gave me what was or what we did at the end of the season, quarterfinal FA Cup, Carabao Cup final, Champions League final, and you win the Premier League, yeah, I'm definitely giving you an A plus with the pressure and everything.
well, I
So,
find it hard to give an A plus, but I definitely give an A, which is
mm,
more than satisfactory,
yeah,
for what we achieved. And the reason I struggle going all the way to A plus implies like there's not much else you could have done. But
hmm
when you lose a Champions League final and a Carabao Cup final, then of course you left something on the table, and for that reason, it's kind of hard for me to go with an A plus. But that's not minimizing the A. It's a very strong A, for what we
hmm
accomplished. I think for a lot of fans, we really wanted the league, and as you can see, even in the reactions after the fact, a lot of fans were very happy with that. The joy, the reactions have been through the roof. So it's not an A where it's like oh my God, that's poor. It's like a strong A, but it gives you something to look forward to next season
next
and the
season,
seasons
yeah.
after that. So for me, it's an A. And also considering, I think what people don't talk about, and I don't bring it up too much, but we also had to deal with a lot of injuries to key
Injuries and
players.
everything, yeah.
And this, in the past, that would have been excuses, right? Or it has been excuses in the past. This year, in spite of everything else, you had to rise above that and accomplish your main goal, which was winning the league. So I'll give it an A for sure, and I'm happy with that A.
And yeah, for me, like when I say the A plus, I mean, for people that just need to know, I'm not giving it like 100 out of 100, right? There's still a little bit of margin of error within that A plus. But the reason I do is because, like you said, there's so many contexts behind it, right? Like I've spoken to a few Arsenal fans, and if there's one thing I said to most of our friends that we've spoken to is the thing I like about this Premier League and why I'm also adding that A plus to it. When you bring the context of the pressure in terms of the expectation, when you bring the context of, oh, I kept saying Mikel and the boys won this league their own way because we went through the entire season with people telling you this is how you win a league. This is what you need to do to win a league. These are the games you need to win to win a league. So all those amounted to the pressure in different ways. You say, oh, you got to go to Anfield and win. You got to go to the Etihad. And you can win the league with set pieces. You can't win the league if you don't have the 20 goal scorer in terms of your striker or your attacker. You can't win the league if one of your attacking players are not the best players in the league and whatnot. Like there were so many narratives that were thrown out there, and they literally debunked each and every one of them. Like literally each and every one of them, and they still won the title. So those are the contexts I'm putting behind it, and I say based on my expectations, that's why I give it that.